Patrick Abbate. In the last 80 years, a lot of people asked me to do a YouTube video where I show how to play sweep picking. It took a little bit, but here we go. If you're watching this video, I assume you already know what a sweep picking technique is, so I'm just gonna say that it is a continuous picking technique. You sweep through the strings, and I'm gonna show you some examples. This is how the right hand works. I suggest you to use the pick slided like this instead of being straight, because you know this is more tough, this is better. And also I suggest to use a pick like this that is not too sharp, because if it's too sharp it's gonna give you this effect. It's kind of tough to go through the strings. It's really up to you, but you know, I suggest at least when you're starting sweep picking to use a point like this that is in the middle or something rounded. It's gonna help you a lot. The reason for why I use this is because I prefer to have a little bit of a sharp point on the pick when I have to do alternate picking. But it's, as I said, it's up to you. Remember, you always want to melt the notes together, but you don't want any note to go on top of the others. You don't want to do either this or this. But you want to do this. Your left hand is stopping the strings that are below the one that you're playing. So if you are on the 6th string and you want to play the 6th string, the finger number 1 is touching the other strings but is stopping them. So now you can listen only one note even if I'm playing all the strings. This is because the first finger is stopping the other strings, and this is what happens on every note that is below the one that you're playing. Now, what happens when you are like in the first string, for example? You have 5 strings on top of the note that you're playing, so the right hand is gonna stop that strings with a palm. I use this part sometimes of the hand, it depends. But basically the right hand has to stop the strings on top of the one that you're playing. So if I'm on the first string, and my right hand is stopping the other 5, as you can see. So basically you have to calibrate your 2 hands, and when you're doing the sweep picking, you're moving the whole thing. What the left hand is stopping, so the notes below, and what the right hand is stopping. Once you calibrate this technique becomes way easier than you can think. You want to be really relaxed when you're doing this. So you should be at that point where you can even talk to your friends. And I'm really relaxed doing it. So it's just about calibrate the 2 hands and do the things I showed you. It's just about practice. So the first exercise, you take a C chord, use just the first 3 strings, and you do. But you do this 1 octave up, so it becomes like this. We start at the 12th fret, and this beat. Down, 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 hammer on, pull off, up, up. You want to do it with distortion so we can realize if you are clean or not. So you use the metronome and you start doing one note per beat, and you do it kind of slow but not too much, otherwise you're not really gonna do this technique. And so it's gonna be something like this, and you go faster and faster with the metronome, depending on the fact that you're able to do it already or not. Once you know how to do this exercise, you should try to do experiments with the other kind of chords. I suggest to try like D minor, from this chord. We have the A here, so it becomes and this is how it should sound. Then you can do A minor. Comes from this. Then you can do A major. Then you can do E major in this chord. Then you can do E minor. Another fingering you can use comes from the diminished chord and is coming from this. If you want, you can even do with this one. You can move one tone and a half up and down because it's all the same. So it works like after you've learned all these fingerings, you want to try to mix these chords and see what happens. After you've learned all these fingerings that are just the basics, you should try to do experiments modifying the fingerings and finding your own licks. I'll show you some examples of how you can modify this. From this, if you move this note back half step, it becomes this. And then you can move this one like once you've learned how to play these chords on 3 strings, you can extend them to the 5th and the 6th string depending on the chord. Now I'm gonna show you how to do it. This is C major. D minor. A minor, A major, E major, E minor, last thing I want to say is that many people think that YouTube is gonna give you all the knowledge you need to be a great guitarist, and in fact the internet helps a lot. But at the same time, I think that it's very helpful to have a real guitar instructor watching what you're doing and giving you suggestions and helping you fixing things, because YouTube is not gonna react to what you do. It's just gonna give you some package that is already done. I hope the video has been helpful, and thanks for watching it. Take care.